What's up, y'all? This is Bryan, the feature columnist for BleacherReport.com, aka Franchise Play, aka the Big Numbers Guy. Now, let's talk about the Royal Rumble. Happened tonight. Well, yeah, it's still tonight. Well, it's not tonight somewhere in the world. It's something else. But at any rate, the Royal Rumble taking a beating on Twitter right now. Really taking a beating, getting punched in the mouth, because people are just displeased with the pay-per-view overall. Let's start from the top. The tag team championships changed hands on the kickoff show. The New Age Outlaws became the 6-time tag team champions of the world. I always wanted to do that. Beating the Rhodes family. I mean, it was a decent match considering that Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg was like 85 years old apiece. It was pretty good. It was still a pretty good match. You kind of knew it had to happen. The Rhodes are going to break up. You kind of further saw the point of that in the Royal Rumble. So we'll see what happens on Raw on Monday, but it was a pretty decent match. I kind of knew this was going to happen. They didn't bring the New Age Outlaws back and have them start working a regular program for them not to go back to the top of the tag team division. So kind of thought this was going to happen. I wasn't too disappointed with that. Now moving on, the next match was actually the match of the night. The Royal Rumble was cool. I will talk about that a little bit later. But the match of the night was Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. It was awesome. The in-ring work was awesome. The outside of the ring work was awesome. Their drama, the way they told a story, was dope. I mean, Bray Wyatt, every time people start to think, oh, well, he's just a spooky dude on the mic, he gets in the ring and shows you what's real. I mean, it was several awesome moments. When Bray at the beginning of the match told Luke Harper and Eric Rowan to go back to the back because he was like he didn't need their help for this, he couldn't have got a bigger push or a better pat on the back in terms of just getting put over. Then, of course, he does the little upside down Spider-Man thing. And have you ever seen a fat man that moves like that? I mean, fat people don't normally move. Look at that. How many fat people do you know can do that? I don't think I know anybody else fat that can do that. I mean, he has to be in a movie or something coming up soon. He got to be like a serial something. He got to do it. But I mean, when Daniel Bryan did the dive between the ropes and then Bray caught him and turned it into the Sister Abigail outside the ring into the wall. Come on. Then he pulls him back in, does another one inside the ring. The fact that they allowed Bray Wyatt to win clean over Daniel Bryan, which is the guy that everybody's cheering more than anything, was quite amazing. The match was so cool that as much as people love Daniel Bryan, they didn't even boo that yet. They didn't even boo it yet. Now, trust me, it was a lot of booing that went on. But the booing didn't really kick in just yet because people, Bray is totally over with the crowd. He totally is. I mean, his character is so strong and his in-ring ability is tight. So he's over. So I don't think people minded seeing Daniel Bryan lose this match as much. They didn't like what happened or what didn't happen a little bit later on in the match. But I think this might have effectively kind of ended the feud with Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. I don't know. Maybe we'll see some other chapter of it, on Raw. But, I mean, he beat him clean. So I don't know what else you're going to say with that. I guess they can pull something else out of the pack. I don't know. Moving on to the next match was Brock Lesnar Big Show. A lot of people were saying this was a disappointment. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, I understand there's some rumors out there that Big Show hurt his hand in a match a week ago or a couple days ago. So it limited what he could do in this match. So this is why you saw pretty much Brock Lesnar just beating him with every chair in the whole tabernacle. He went and got a chair from across the street. He went to Home Depot. He went to Menards, got some more chairs. Nobody could sit down. He hit him with everything. So it wasn't that bad to me though. I mean, I knew that Brock was gonna run through Big Show because they had to set Brock up for had to set him up for something big in WrestleMania, and he couldn't be coming off a loss at the Royal Rumble. So I kind of knew he was gonna beat the Big Show. I didn't know it was going to be like this. I mean, he beat him with a chair for 47 minutes before the match even technically started. Then once it started, you know, I was impressed to see that Brock could still do the F5 against the Big Show. That was kind of impressive. Brock gonna have to get in a little bit better shape if he really wants to go to the UFC, though. His tummy was hanging low. Next match, John Cena, Randy Orton. The crowd booed this match like I was out there wrestling. Like me, like Bryan, franchise play. Like I was out there, and that's how they was booing. They was like, ah, get this. It was terrible, right? Now Randy Orton did his best. You know, normally he's really able to switch the crowd or like throw them off, because they'll be heckling or booing or whatever, and he'll like give a stare or he'll shout something out at the crowd, and he's usually kind of able to shift it a little bit. He really couldn't do that this match. I mean, the match was pretty boring at first, but ultimately they got into a little bit of a little more exciting program. They started doing the whole move thief thing. You know, each one of them did each other's finishing move, which is always pretty cool. But ultimately, what decided the match was Randy Orton had to get a little bit of outside interference. And a colleague of mine for Bleacher Report said that the only way that this match wasn't going to be horrible was if there was outside interference. And then, of course, there was. Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family came down, distracted John Cena enough. Randy Orton hit him with an RKO, gets the pin, he wins, he leaves out. The funny thing was Randy Orton was talking about Bray Wyatt before this in a little promo he did. Called him a hillbilly and a duck, what was he called? Duck Dynasty reject. That's what he said. I thought that was pretty decent. I could have probably wrote something a little bit better, but I thought it was pretty decent. So I knew some feud was coming with Bray Wyatt and John Cena. I knew that was coming. I kind of wish it kind of would have come about in a different way than this. Instead of showing us John Cena versus Randy Orton for the 9,478th time, you know, because man, you know, he hit his daddy 3 years ago or 5 years ago, whenever it was. Then he hit his daddy again. Stop beating up on John Cena's daddy, man. You know, hit somebody else. Hit his uncle or something. But yeah, that's what that was. So let's move into the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble had some awesome moments. There was a little of about a 10-minute lull, like towards I would say the third quarter of the match. But overall, I thought it was pretty cool. We saw Alexander Rusev from NXT make his debut. We saw Kevin Nash come back. JBL got in the ring. I don't know. It seemed like he was there in place of Xavier Woods, because Xavier Woods was supposed to be in the Royal Rumble, but he didn't show up. I don't know. Maybe he couldn't find or activate us. I don't know what was going on, but he wasn't there. Roman Reigns was a beast. I mean, this dude he is a mess. You understand me? He is off the chain. I mean, he looked like he either supposed to be in a Conan movie or he's supposed to be in some kind of something like that where he got a sword and he cut people. It was awesome. He broke the record for eliminations in a Royal Rumble match with 12. But at the end, Batista won the Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan did not come out. The fans was real mad. They was booing like, I'm telling you, like everybody lost $5 at the door. It was really bogus. They was booing real hard. Batista, I'm gonna tell you the part I didn't like about Batista winning. It kind of felt like he bullied his way into this, because it was like, you know, we know he just signed a contract to come back and all of that, and it felt like he was like, well, either I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble or I ain't coming. So I'm like, man, you know, I didn't really like that. You know, that's kind of sucked. That kind of sucked, but you know, whatever. Well, he looked slow and choppy in the ring too. I mean, for him, it came down to him and Roman Reigns at the end, and Roman Reigns had been such a beast. To see him get eliminated kind of the way it was, it felt like it was a little bit, you know, anticlimactic. I don't know, but I don't know. It could have, the ending could have been better. Overall, the match was pretty decent. The pay-per-view itself left a lot of fans angry. I wasn't as angry, but I'd certainly see where they're coming from. We'll see what happens on Raw, though. Batista is the Royal Rumble winner, and he is going to main event WrestleMania against somebody. That'll do it for me, y'all. Subscribe, follow. Peace.